What's going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 79 of the MudWatch Sports Podcast on this Thursday, May 29th, 2025. I'm your host, Zach Malamud. Before we get started, please subscribe below. Follow all of my social accounts. Let's start things off in the NBA as the New York Knicks are in action tonight. An 8 o'clock start in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks down 3-1 in the series after they lost Game 4 to the Indiana Pacers, 130 to 121 on Tuesday night. And like I said, Indiana with a 3-1 series lead now, heading back to the Garden for Game 5. And you look at that Game 4 loss, it just really came down to turnovers for this Knicks team. 17 of them they had in this game, and it really led to a lot of Indiana points, fast break points. Indiana wins that category 22-9, and I know the Knicks like to play at a slower pace, but you look at the turnovers, 17 turnovers, and that led to 20 points off turnovers for the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are really good in all kinds of areas on the offensive side of things, and if you let them put up 130 points, they're going to win 9 times out of 10. Maybe a game here or there where you get the better of them, but that many points is just not good enough on the defensive side for the New York Knicks. I don't think the Knicks have played tremendous defense throughout this postseason. There have been games here and there where they've come up big. You could say Game 3 and mounting that comeback, a big part of that could have been defense, but it could also have been the offense for the Knicks in Game 3. And then even the previous series, yes, some games against Detroit, and then maybe a game here or there against Boston. It wasn't down to the defense, though. It was clutch shooting. Mikal Bridges stepped up and knocked down some big shots. Karl-Anthony Towns had a big fourth quarter, and you could say that's a big reason for Game 3 and the win that the Knicks were able to grab. And Jalen Brunson, of course, is always going to get his points, but the Knicks defensively have to be better. They are going up against an offensive masterclass type of team in the Indiana Pacers who just feast on offense, feast off turnovers, and feast on transition points. It's not good enough right now for the New York Knicks, and they're down 3-1 in a series that should be tied 2-2 heading back to New York. Obviously, the Knicks really won Game 1, but they gave it away in the last couple of minutes, and that just tells you how important defense is. It let them down in that game. Aaron Nesmith was hitting everything, but if the Knicks play better defense, maybe that doesn't happen. I think really when it comes down to is the Knicks defense is just not good enough to keep up with the pace of this Pacers offense. And that's the story of this series so far. 3-1, the Pacers lead it, but it is not over. It is going into Game 5 now. Back at MSG tonight, an 8 o'clock start. The Knicks come into this game as 4.5-point favorites, total sitting at 223.5. The Knicks have to win this game. It's a must win. Of course, they are facing elimination for the first time this postseason, but they really need to step things up on the defensive side. They cannot let the Pacers shoot open threes. They cannot let the Pacers really control things in the paint like they've done for really 3 of the 4 games so far this postseason, because even though the Knicks gave away that lead, the Pacers still found a way to get things done down the stretch and knock down threes and get open looks and figure things out on the offensive end. So make sure you tune in tonight, an 8 o'clock start as the Knicks take on the Indiana Pacers. However, I don't believe anybody is facing the other team in the finals, in the NBA finals, and beating that team. This Oklahoma City Thunder team is an absolute wagon. They won against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they win that series 4-1. I don't think anybody's, either the Knicks or the Pacers, are getting past that Oklahoma City team. They have size, they have experience, they have stars, they have depth, they have defense, they have scoring. Everything you want in a team. They check all the boxes right now. And yeah, I think obviously Indiana's going to fight to get to this NBA Finals, but they're going to run into a wagon, it seems. And even the Knicks, if they get past this Pacers team and come back, I mean, run out of energy, I think it could be a sweep. I mean, Oklahoma City is just a different animal, very tough team, and clearly the best team in the NBA right now. But make sure you tune in Eastern Conference Finals Game 5. It's the Pacers and the Knicks at MSG. Let's shift things to baseball as both New York teams were in action this week. And let's start things off with the New York Yankees, who completed a series sweep over the LA Angels. out in Anaheim this weekend, and give credit to the Yankees, who look red hot right now. And they won 5-1 on Monday, 3-2 on Tuesday, and they finished things off with a 1-0 win on Wednesday. I think the biggest thing that stands out for the Yankees in this series is clearly the pitching. They had Ryan Yarbrough go out on Monday, and you're thinking, all right, it's a series. You don't have Max Fried pitching in this series. Rodon, yes, is on the mound, and maybe Will Warren has been better, but you don't have him on the mound either. They go with Yarbrough, Rodon, and Schmidt. Yarbrough was tremendous on Monday, and I talked about that on Tuesday's episode, Go check that one out. Then you look at Schmidt, who has been a beast now for the last couple of starts, and a 1-0 win for the Yankees. He moves to 2-2 on the year. And that was just a great outing by Clarke Schmidt. Goes back to a couple of years ago before a couple of the injuries snuck in there for a guy like Clarke Schmidt. A very, very strong outing by Clarke Schmidt. 6 innings strong, 4 hits allowed, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and just 1 walk. I mean, just good enough stuff by Schmidt, and the Yankees end up getting the sac fly by Anthony Volpe in the top of the first inning, and that's the difference in this game. And give credit to the Yankees, who went up against an Angels team that was really hot in the month of May. They were cruising and really mounting a strong comeback in the AL West and trying to get near the top of that division. And the Yankees said, hold on, we're red hot right now. They are rolling in the month of May, and it is really positive signs if you're a Yankee fan. Really like what you're seeing, and the offense, when they need to step up, they do step up. They're okay with playing small ball, and that's the difference between this Yankees team just a couple of years ago and now. Willing to get the base hit rather than the home run, get the sac fly, get the run in. It's very important, and I think when you look at the guys that they added this offseason, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, 2 guys that are really okay with doing all of that, playing the small ball type of game. They also have a lot more in this lineup that really strong contributors. You even got bottom of the lineup guys stepping up, and even with Austin Wells, you have Jorvit Vivas, who's even stepping up and coming in with the injuries to Jazz Chisholm Jr., and then you even have DJ LeMay, who's come back and has had a solid contribution to this Yankees lineup. It's the bottom of the lineup. It's the top of the lineup. Everybody's playing well right now, and they're getting on base. Their pitching has been absolutely flawless so far in the last couple of games. Even in the games that they've lost to other teams, their pitching has been dynamite. They really, I mean, when you look at their losses since May 13th, 2-1 loss in 11 to Seattle. They only give up 2 runs. A 3-2 loss on a Saturday against the New York Mets. Only gave up 3 runs in that one. Colorado, they go to the Rockies in the first game of a 3-game set, and they lose that one 3-2. Only 3 runs allowed in that one. So even with the losses, this pitching has been really strong. And even when they haven't, this offense is able to pick them up. And a really good time to be a Yankee fan. You got to be positive. I know it's only May, and that's not where the Yankees are judged. But when you're looking down the road, the small ball type of game is really going to help the Yankees in September, October, wherever they go, especially in this American League that is sputtering out of control. And a lot of teams that you expected to really play well have not been playing well so far this season. So the Yankees end up going into a 3-game set where they are going to be tested here. Now they go their biggest test in the month of May. They travel on the road to LA, the other side of LA. They were already in Los Angeles, in Anaheim, but now they go to Dodger Stadium for a 3-game set against the LA Dodgers. 3 primetime games, and we're looking forward to it. Starting off on Friday with a 10-10 start. It's the Yankees and the Dodgers. Max Fried, Tony Gonsolin on the mound. This one's a pick'em right now between the Yankees and the Dodgers, both minus 110. But Fried comes into this outing 7-0 on the year, 1.29 ERA. Gonsolin 2-1 on the season, a 4.68 ERA, and he's coming off an outing against the New York Mets where he got beat around just a little bit and faced his first loss of the season to move to 2-1. So let's see what happens between the Yankees and the Dodgers. A phenomenal World Series rematch. and that one takes place 10:10 tomorrow night. Let's shift things to the other side of New York, as the New York Mets were in action this week as well, a 3-game set against the struggling Chicago White Sox at the bottom of the American League, and the Mets end up winning this series 2-1. It does come down to, though, the series finale, where the Mets just did not look good, and Griffin Canning had his first real blip of the season. His only other loss was on the second day of the season to the Houston Astros down in Houston, and that one he still looked solid, only 2 earned runs allowed. And then in this one, he just sputtered out of control, just not good enough in the early innings, ends up getting charged with 3 earned runs, 5 runs allowed overall. Of course, a couple of them came on errors by both Brett Beatty as well as Jeff McNeil. Both took place in the second inning, and Canning gets through 3, but that's it. That was his day, 80 pitches, and it just was not good enough for Griffin Canning, who, again, for the second straight outing, 4 walks in this one. It's just not good enough. He's allowing too many runners on base, and the 3 strikeouts, he had a high strikeout total and a fair amount of his outings. Just his pitches did not look good today. Didn't feel strong heading into this one against a White Sox team that's 18-38 now in the American League. Andrew Benintendi, however, had a day, if you could say so. I mean, 3 for 5, a home run, 4 RBIs, really causing havoc in the finale at Citi Field. So the Mets take a series that they pretty much dominated in the first 2 games. They got wins over the White Sox 2-1 on Monday, 6-4 on Tuesday, but it just was not good enough to finish things off in the finale against the White Sox. And they do get another series now against a really bad opponent, as the Colorado Rockies come to town, and they're facing one of the worst records in baseball history. They have the worst record in the modern era, heading through 56 games. Just not good enough so far for the Colorado Rockies. 9-47, how about it, in the National League? And when you look at the NL West in that division, which has 4 teams that are really strong, you got the Dodgers, the Padres leading the way. Then you have the teams after that, and the Giants and the Diamondbacks. And even though the Diamondbacks have lost a couple on the bounce, they still look really strong and look bound for a team that's going to be fighting for a wild card spot. But the Colorado Rockies sit at the bottom of that division, and it's not even close. Their run differential is horrendous. They are not even close to anybody else when it comes to run differential. Almost 100 runs separates them and the next worst team in Major League Baseball. But it's going to be Kyle Freeland on the mound, 0-7 on the year, 5.86 ERA, which is the worst among qualified pitchers this season in baseball. And he's going to take on David Peterson, who's coming off a really nice outing against the Los Angeles Dodgers. His last time out, he's 3-2 on the year at 2.79 ERA, and has looked solid at Citi Field this season. The Mets have looked solid at Citi Field this season as well. The best home record in baseball right now, and they got to come out really strong here. It should be a series sweep, and if they don't get a sweep over the Rockies, even on their home field, you're really saying this is a little bit rough right now for the New York Mets, who are trying to break out of a little bit of a slump. I understand that they won some games against the Dodgers. They won some games against the White Sox. This team just does not look right. Pete Alonso had a home run, finally broke that homerless drought. Juan Soto has still looked horrendous so far this season when it comes to his hitting. I understand that he's getting unlucky, but there comes a time and a moment that you just have to step up and get the moment and really just take the moment in. He just does not do that so far this season, and it's been a rough one for Juan Soto, looking to continue to try and bounce back. And in a series where he went up against a White Sox team that their pitching is not really strong, he went 0 for 10. I understand the debate of, oh, well, he should have had a hit. Even so, 1 for 10, not good enough. 100 in the series, and he's batting .202 in the month of May. Not good enough right now for Juan Soto. However, when you look at I even talked about it on the last episode. It's April, it's May, it's not September, and it's not October. If it's still a problem then you got a real worry about this contract for Juan Soto. But right now, not freaking out just yet, just waiting patiently for him to finally step up to the moment. He just hasn't done it so far this season. So Can he do so against the Colorado Rockies, sputtering right now in the National League? Hopefully, if you are a Met fan, you're hoping so, that he just gets something going. He's going up against a pitcher in Kyle Freeland on Friday night. That is just woeful so far this season. So we'll see what happens, but make sure you tune in all series long to both the Yankees and the Mets, Yankees-Dodgers, Mets, and Rockies. They all take place tomorrow night. But that will do it for episode 79 of the MudWatch Sports Podcast. Please subscribe below. I've been Zach Malamuth. Thanks for watching, and talk to you all on Monday.